Okay, welcome grognards. I've got a very special treat here. We've got Robert Crandall, the founder, president of On Target Simulations. Welcome, Robert. And we're going to be talking today about Flashpoint Campaigns, as you can see in the small window there.
Thank you, Das. I'm delighted to be on board today, and I'm really looking forward to showing you and your viewers a bit about this new game.
Yeah, so this is this the second game in the series, or is there other games that were sort of part of the actual series? Because there was Southern Storm, which I was aware of.
Yep. Before that, we had Flashpoint Campaigns Red Storm, and before that, we had Flashpoint Germany.
Oh,
Flashpoint Germany came out in January 2005.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's
20 years.
20 years now.
Oh, congratulations. That's fantastic. But it's not. It doesn't look like the same engine. I've got to say. Like, it's a beautiful. Like, it's sort of funny to say a war game. The actual map graphics seem so much more advanced than your typical war game graphics. Like, has that changed over the years?
It changed enormously. We have a team of like 20 people, give or take, all of whom are obsessive compulsive types. And yes, our map maker does an amazing job with these pixel perfect maps. And as do all of us, because it's been in production for so long, we'll look at things and we'll see things and go, yeah, no, we can improve on that. So you really can, I think, once you get into it. And we did just finish 6 months of beta testing. And a lot of them knew Southern Storm. And they said, we cannot go back.
Oh, really?
So many improvements, so many UI polishes. My eyes hurt just looking at the old one. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, because it's a game that, like, Southern Storm was one that a lot of people asked me to actually cover on my channel. But it's sort of one of those things where there's so many games and I never got to it. I've actually had it since the launch, but I've never actually got to play Southern Storm, and Cold War now coming out as well. It's sort of one of those things where I've always looked at it and thought, wow, it's such a beautiful looking war game compared to nearly every other war game. So from that side of things, it was something I was always interested in. And the community seems to be also very, very much wanting to sort of know about the game. I guess it goes beyond the graphics. I mean, the gameplay as well looks very, very intuitive, the way it sort of does play. And we'll certainly get into the actual gameplay itself, I guess. But I guess before we sort of go into the actual game itself, like your background, were you like a tabletop wargamer? Was that sort of how you started, or?
Oh, I've played everything. Since I got serious about this game, because if I have enough mental energy to do a game, I really should be working on this. I'm a computer programmer, sort of a corporate software developer, and I do games on evenings and weekends as a way to learn new techniques.
Yep.
In a safe to fail environment. Oh, version control. What's that? And one thing led to another. And Flashpoint Germany was picked up by Matrix Games, and almost immediately I started plugging into that community of people. Matrix Games in the early days had this new idea called a forum.
Yeah.
Social media, and it revolutionized things. It was a very isolating. Being a wargamer, and prior to that was, you were on your own pretty much. After that, everybody in the world with a similar interest could talk to you, and you could talk to them.
So you found the Matrix Forum to be quite like for you, a very important, I guess, feedback tool. Would that be fair to say?
Tremendous.
Yeah.
And although I'm not naturally extroverted, I found it very comfortable to be there.
Yeah.
And for Flashpoint Germany, I must have written 5,000 to 10,000 posts.
Wow.
And this too was new. Talk to the developer and find out, what were you thinking in doing that?
Yeah.
And the game,
I've been a member of the Matrix Forum for, I don't know for how long. I think I was in the night, whenever they started, I joined both Slytherin and Matrix.
Two,
was it? Yeah, it was very, very early, but for different games, because each of their forums, they had, as you say, such depth of information. It was the place to go for, if you had a question about a game. It's just funny from a developer side, just how connected you could be. I guess Discord now has sort of taken that role, but
it's fragmented, and that's a shame. But yeah, I recruited all the core team off of the forums at Matrix.
Wow.
And they were modders,
yeah,
fellow developers, image scientists. The maps that we love so much. He's
Yeah.
an image scientist.
Wow. Okay.
He's written chapters in game programming gems on AI and computer players and things like that. So it's not just enthusiasts. It's pretty savvy people.
Yeah.
Say, can I help out? Can I be part of this too?
It's an incredible community, I think, that comes out of those forums. And I mean, I've heard that same sort of approach. Like, there's so many, as you say, there's so many either people who built maps or mods, for different games for their game engines, and then ended up, it becoming such a big part of their life, and essentially then they end up sort of getting caught up in developing other things. And there's so many spin-offs as well, isn't there? Like the different spin-offs from different games where the modders have actually been able to sort of work with the developers to sort of enhance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's been the same journey for you then as well. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
We went from 1 person to 20-ish. It's hard to say who's really in because they again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I spend my time coordinating that group now and making project plans and things like that. More
Actually,
than coding, although coding's still by far the most fun part of it.
That's it's interesting you say that, because that's one of the things that I've heard from people who are sort of considered to be the best at modding tend to be better managers than actual modders. Is that something would that be? Okay, it's just funny to hear it from a developer's perspective as well, to actually get to hear that side of things. I think because you are dealing with so many different resources and people coming in with different sorts of things, you've got to keep it all cohesive, keep the vision the same. Is that something that rings true for you, or is that something that's a bit different?
Yes, but developers tend to be introverts and therefore not the best people. But like number 3 person, staff brigade officer, 4th Brigade of the 1st Division in 1989 in Germany, which is our setting, went on to become a minister. And he has the best people skills of anybody.
Okay.
Charles, we need help. And he's in charge of QA and
wow.
Beta testers and stuff, and talking to the authors of the scenarios, because we have contributors turning in scenarios and campaigns. And Charles is the guy that says, needs a bit more work here, a bit more there. Kind of forgot about this feature the guys worked so hard to put in. Can you have smoke and illumination rounds for artillery in your thing? So yes, it takes all talents. Certainly the game prospered geometrically after I gave up just sort of being the sole developer and the one person working on it. As soon as I started adding people, the game started getting better. So
how was that for you? That must have been hard to let go of, and allow other people to work on what you did. I know I would struggle with that, but is that something that at the time was it difficult?
A certain amount of lip biting.
Yep.
But it works.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
And so with the actual people that are working on the games, are you all working at remote locations? Or do you just all work remotely, or are you sort of are there groups of you that work together, in physical sense?
Nobody is together.
Yeah.
We had a man in Tokyo. We don't anymore, but we were Tokyo to Holland.
Wow. Okay.
Most of us are in North America, but far from all of us.
Yep.
And we were fully virtual from the start, and we used Skype, and just glued it all together with Skype. The first person to join up with me lives in Ohio, and he lived in the outskirts of Columbus, Ohio, where the Origins Game Fair is held every summer. And we would rendezvous at Origins.
Okay.
We would use our game. We'd be out on the floor.
Yep.
And we would run the game and have sessions and all that kind of stuff. And so that was our annual meeting and sort of planning for the year ahead type meeting.
Wow.
And one year we had 4 of us there. It was really cool.
I guess we should point out that you're in Toronto in Canada, and so you would have had to go to the US basically to meet up that way. I don't know if we mentioned that you're actually you're not sort of close to Ohio as such.
Well, yeah, it's 8 hours door to door. But But that's close by our standards. Not by
Yep.
yours, maybe, but that's
Oh, look, it's. I mean, I guess with planes, it's everything's accessible.
yeah.
So,
Oh, but I probably should back up just a bit. This game is about Cold War. It's set in Germany in 1989.
yep.
You command ground forces, tanks,
Well,
armored infantry,
let's start it up
artillery,
actually,
all that.
and so we can just get straight into it. And we've just decided to actually start up with one scenario, and then we can sort of talk about it. Yeah, you're right. We should actually get into the actual game itself.
Tell
So
people what it is. Oh, it's a pirate game. A space pirate game. That would be fantastic. Yeah, no, it's Cold War in Germany.
so we
As
get
high intensity ground combat as you can get. They had everything lined up, all set to go for years. Of course, the battle was never fought, so we don't have an historical record we have to adhere to.
yep.
But an awful lot of the people who served are very vocal about telling us, "Oh, here's what you need to know about this or that."
So this particular one that we're going to be looking at, this Alamo at Soest, is this? So we're talking about this one now, aren't we? In 1989, and
Yes.
so this is a like an ahistoric scenario, of course. So, it's a Cold War gone hot. Is that sort of how you describe this one?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yep. So if we just start it, I guess what I'll do is I'll just get you to direct me, so we can actually then go through the various mechanics of the game. So if we just go play at this point in time, I guess it's always very important to read all of this, but
It is important. But we don't have time. But
Yep.
what it says there is that it's a couple weeks into the war. There's been a nuclear exchange with just very recently, and both sides are really pausing and saying, "Okay, what are we doing here? Do we keep fighting or not?" And our premise is yes, they keep fighting.
right, okay,
And we will command a National Guard unit from Texas, a piece of one. It's just flown in, jet lagged. They've been thrown to the front saying, "There's a yawning gap in the front line. You guys fill it." Oh, and by the way, a substantial Russian force is bearing down on you.
right,
We'll send you reinforcements. We promise, honest. So that's what this tells you. It's kind of okay. We're playing Americans. What's coming at us is actually Polish in this one, and we're going to fight on a map. And it's about 15 by 25 kilometers in size, 500-meter hexes. And Das, you're of an age where you might have played Panzer Blitz back in the day. Well,
I never did actually. No.
Oh, it's the same game scale as Panzer Blitz. It was a formative influence in my life. So of course, platoons and companies.
So it's fairly tight then. It's a very almost, would it be squad level? Is it beyond?
It's platoons for NATO, so
Yep.
multiple squads.
Yep. Okay.
But we'll command a company that's broken down into platoons, and then
Right.
has some supporting assets.
Well, let's
then
click
we'll
on
get
play and
fed other. Yeah, so you click there.
now.
Here's where you set the game settings. Yes.
Yep. Now we spoke before about actually turning off the fog of war so we could see what was going on. And do we turn that off in here?
We do. You've set it to recruit under number 2 difficulty, so that pierces the fog of war. It just says, "Yeah, show me everything."
Right. Okay. Cool.
I can see where their units are. I can see what kind of tanks they're using.
Yep.
We want that. And if you're just starting the game, this is how you start. I'm sorry. If you're new to the game and learning how to play, definitely go to recruit. The higher levels, veteran and grog, start introducing fog of war, and
Yep.
in a serious way. You can't know about something unless you have eyes on it. So at the higher levels, they might blow a bridge on you that you're counting on having. And if you don't have a unit that can see the bridge, you still think it's up.
Right. Okay. Right.
Because you come around the corner
Yep.
and then go to use it. So that's the kind of fog of war.
Yep.
At the bottom, we have battle planning, which is sort of a scripting system. And we introduced that with our last game and greatly increased its utility in this game. And what it does is it lets the scenario author change setup areas and basic mission orders for the larger forces in the scenario. So you can say script 1 might be, okay, we're hooking to the right. And script 2 would be going up the center, and 3 is, yeah, we're going to do a head fake. We're going to look like we're going in the left, but then go up the right, in a larger sense. And that gets the thing going, creates a lot of replay value.
I've never seen that before in a game, to be honest. This is something that's innovative for your game. Would that be correct? Like, is it something that...
It's not the very first, but it's a feature of it, because if you get interested, you can go into the scenario editor, call up these battle plans, edit them. You can create a 4th one or a 5th one.
Wow.
They're saved off as separate files. You can give it to your buddy and say, try this. This is a Soviet attack at Alamo Southwest.
Let's just quickly go back and have a look. So it's this one here, I'm guessing.
Okay. Yes.
Let's not get too dirty with what's going on, but I'm guessing that this is what you mean, like in this...
so click on the left-hand button. Yeah. Oh, actually, well, it won't show it, but we could. The left-hand button, load standalone scenario file. Left. There you go.
Yep.
We'll pick Alamo West again.
And load.
Load it.
We shouldn't get too caught up in this. Right, so we can actually... So we can see what the...
Yeah. Oh, look, there's lots of Polish over on the right there. Click on the next buttons.
Well, sorry, I've already just...
You jumped over to them by clicking on them, yeah. So here's the entire Polish force that's all been laid out. And you'll see a battle planning tab up near the top. And that's what you click on to start collecting battle tabs and giving battle plan orders. And you see, it visualizes it for you.
Yeah,
But hasten to caution, you don't have to learn any of this until you want to.
The thing I like about this, though, it's showing the scope, isn't it, of what the scenario editors can actually then go and put into the game. Like even in terms of like movement, then clear. Does that mean it's going to stop that position and then sort of clear any forces it finds? Is that, and then you've got like movement to attacks. Is that sort of how that one then works?
Those are the names the scenario author assigned to it. So the word clear is, he typed in CLEAR.
Oh, okay, yep.
So he could remember what that was meant.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean...
We've been working on this a while. It's pretty fancied up. But this is one of the things that we have. And the goal is replay value, but also it's a lot of fun making these things.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy making it, you get in touch with us. You might become one of the 20. And... for example, the guy who made this was a U.S. battalion commander back after 1989, but he's retired now. So a very knowledgeable person. He said, I want to do this. This is...
Yeah.
I was stationed near there. And he took to it all like a duck to water. He's a real war gamer. And Fred Schwartz is his name. Bruce Maxwell introduced us to him. And... yeah, so Fred set it up. He did 3 or 4 scenarios in this game, and they're some of the best. Because his mind thinks this way. Surfaces, plans. Here we go.
It's great to see under the hood like this. I think to see just again the scope of what can happen with a game like this, just the depth, where like and to have that. If I just exit the editor, I'll just go back into the actual. I'll just go back into the scenario. But
yes. Everything we used, we ship, except for the map maker. The map maker, we will happily share with interested parties, but it's big. It's a gigabyte download, and it's complex. And we offer Saturday morning seminars where we teach people how to make maps and then turn them loose. But it's not for the faint of heart, as I would say.
What do you use for for building the maps? I mean, I've seen other games sort of try to do things with oldish maps, like particularly from the 1980s and so on and so forth. Do you have resources that you use as well, like actual maps from that era?
Yes and no. We use digital mapping, cartography data, and the key program is called QGIS, QGIS, which we call the map guys, crazy. Of course we're using that.
Yeah.
So we download the digital elevation models, we download the terrain, and we then correct it because our game is in 1989, and modern Germany, the roads are much fancier, and the cities are much larger, and the forests aren't what they were. So we have to correct that data and render it to what we call an intermediate map, which is a playable map, but it's ugly. It has just token bitmaps for forest and towns and so on.
Yep.
And then we get serious. That takes a day maybe to do that. We're working on a way to make it 2 hours instead of a day, but that's long enough. But then you spend a week rendering and correcting pixel by pixel just where the rivers flow and where the roads go, so they don't hit the intersection of 3 hexes and things like that.
So how do you get that data though? Where do you get the data from that era? So if you're starting off with modern maps, is that a bit of just guesswork or?
No. The
Oh, really?
Keep everything.
Oh, okay.
We downloaded it.
Oh, right. Okay.
We were fanatics about weather, and we didn't quite get weather data going back to 1989.
Right.
So it starts in like the year 2000.
Okay.
But we try to see what are reasonable weather transitions for this part of Germany back then.
Wow.
And in almost to west, it starts with fog here on, September 25th. Yeah, and real life in that part of Germany at that time of year, they do have fog in the morning. And so you can set it up, you can pick it from different years. There's a whole game within a game just setting up weather. We're going to ignore that, just play with what you get. But for authors, huge flexibility, using quite historical data, quite accurate data.
And so with the actual map that you've got, like, do you have like a massive map and you just pick a small portion of that for the scenarios, or do you actually build the scenario maps up from scratch?
Each one's from scratch. We've considered making large ones and ripping them, but they're so memory intensive. They need so much RAM.
Yeah.
Really, we just pick a location and then get the geographical coordinates, and then from Google Maps take it from there and kind of define our box and use QGIS
should we start the game up and then maybe you can show me the map modes and stuff like that, so we can actually have a bit of a look at that one there. I know that we're going to try to do this within an hour, but I think we're probably going to go a bit over an hour, if that's okay, if you've got the time to spend. So
I have the carefree life of a software developer.
So anyway, I think that before we move off from this one here, you're talking about this random selection where you've got different attack plans that people can then make use of. When did you innovate this? Like, I guess before we go in, just to, is this sort of like, is this new for the Cold War one, or has it always been there for the games?
It appeared with Southern Storm,
if
I recall correctly.
Okay.
So that was 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Okay. It's very, very clever.
We went a long time without a scripting system. We just had the core computer player.
Yep.
And we called it Pac-Man because it looks on the map for where the victory point locations are and tries to gobble them up.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And we said, yeah, that's great, Rob, but we could do better. So this whole scripting system came in.
All right. Well, let's open the game up anyway, and we'll get into it. So, whoops, I'm going to the wrong screen there. There we are. So here we are. We're in the scenario. I'll just click on proceed unless there's something in here that you need me to actually look at. I guess we're really just introducing the game.
General orientation. Yeah. So proceed. And then let me just walk you around the map just for quickly.
So if I zoom out, is that the best?
The standard Windows program. Yeah. So it has menus and it has buttons and all that good stuff. If you can run Excel or Word, you can run this. The menu bar is across the top. The big area obviously is a map. It's a top-down view. It's a hex map. So West is the name of the map. 500-meter hexes side to side. And the green boxes are the friendly units, and then the gray and red ones are the enemy units. That huge orangey pinky line running left to right is a highway. It's the A44. And I'll show you how to find out, but that's the objective. The Polish forces are trying to clear that highway and come right through us there in the center to win the game. And for us to win, we need to stop them from doing that. The game will play for 5 hours. It's now 7 in the morning, and it's very foggy. The map doesn't normally look like this, but it's all kind of washed out because of the fog that's
And so just to help people with the game, is there a way I can quickly turn on the hexes? Is there a button for that?
There is. Darned if I remember. Try
Is it
info view, menu item. No, that's a zooming function.
That's zoom. What was that? Sorry?
Try the main menu at the top. Try info view and see if it has a show hexes somewhere there.
I should have set this
No,
up.
I'm not seeing it. There is an under options.
User preferences.
It's not there. Just cancel out. There is a way. It takes a moment to render, but then yes, you do get hexagons. We got tired of looking at them, honestly. So
okay. I just often get asked by people, "Can you turn the hexes on?" So that's okay. If we can't.
So many years, Das, that I just don't remember now. But there is a way.
I mean, it's beautiful without it. It's one of those things. Yeah. So, but they are there. I guess we can just sort of say it won't be able to help. I don't think. But yeah.
Options is a view.
Oh, hang on.
Somewhere.
There we go. Got it. I'll leave it on because I know that some people hate it, some people like it, but at least it'll give the context for people who aren't that familiar with war games and with the way that sort of hexes then sort of work with the war games. So I'll leave that one on there.
Perfect. So we have a bit of forest there. We have a bit of urban, the named towns and villages. Road net's pretty obvious. Down at the bottom, we have a big lake, it looks like. There's just filled in water hexes, so that would be impassable.
Okay, yep.
There's some sort of blue, circular symbols up now at the top of the map. Those are victory point locations.
Oh, okay, yep.
1,500 each, 2,500 each. So these are important. These are what the game is fought over.
Yep.
The combat units also have VP values, which can add up pretty quickly. And if you destroy enemy units, you get victory points for that.
Right.
At the end of the game, you kind of adjudicate. You're not trying to get the most points, but you're trying to punch above your weight. In this scenario, we're playing the underdog side. They're about a third the strength of the other side.
Right, yeah.
And so if we can get more VPs by the end of it, more than a third, then that's a relative victory. And marginal, tactical, decisive victory. So it's relative. You're not that disadvantaged. It's sort of a fight outnumbered and win thing.
Yeah,
Even if they chase you off the field, if you've gotten enough of them, if you made them pay too high a price, then you've won, not them.
Right. Yeah.
If I
So
may, just down the right-hand side of the screen, I just briefly describe what these are for.
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah. Should I select it? I've got a unit selected, like an engineer unit. Do you want me to pick a different unit?
Not yet.
Okay.
The top right box is the game box, and you see a start button. So when we're done planning and want to start resolving the game, we'll click on that. Don't click on that now.
No, I won't yet.
The next part with green and white boxes, those are the turn lengths. And in this game, the two players can have different lengths of turns. And ours are 14 minutes, and the enemy's 29 minutes. So we will literally have two turns for their one.
Right. So it allows you to react and move and maneuver and do what you need to do. Okay.
Outmaneuver them, outthink them. It's because our forces are smaller, but they're very cohesive and they're well prepared. Theirs are sprawling and a little less well prepared, I suspect, so it's stretched out for them for longer.
What happens if it's not?
Weather report.
Is it sort of like a staggered? Is it exactly 14, or is it 14.5 to get to the 29? Like, is it sort of does it always end up where you like? It looks like it does stagger. Yeah.
Staggered.
Right.
Coincidence. These ones line up, but no.
No, not really.
18 minutes and 23 minutes.
Right. Okay. Cool. That's really cool. Again, that's something I haven't come across before.
It is. That was kind of one of the guiding ideas I had 23 years ago, and how we might make this a different game, and to model a sort of the command cycle for each side independently, and have this thing where you can have you can act more quickly, you can intervene on the battlefield more frequently than the enemy. Priceless advantage.
Yeah.
The box you're over now is kind of us. We're Lieutenant Colonel Travis. the Lone Star Division. We're at 100% starting strength. Electronic warfare is very low, and the average readiness is superb. Contested, it's like a victory point thing. If the game ended now, what would it look like? And yeah, we're in the middle. We haven't won
Yep.
final loss.
Yep. Okay. And what about these down the side
Right.
here? Yeah.
Oh, this is a secret weapon. But I hasten to caution new players, you don't have to spend a lot of time here. You can just play the game. But click on HQ. So
Okay.
that went to the high HQ that's us in the game. And it's highlighted over in the far left edge. And then it pulled up the unit dashboard, we call it. And that's where you get all the details of the unit, and you can see what its orders are and give a complete rundown, a thumbnail. How much ammo, its readiness, its morale. If you click on the subunits tab, that's the second one, these are all the vehicles that compose this unit. And you'll see that there's sort of a number 8 in the bottom left corner of the counter. Well, these are the 8 things that compose that unit. As they get knocked out or lost, that 8 will decrement down, and you'll start seeing these guys X'd out and things like that.
Yep.
But what you've got is an M113A1. Yeah, what the heck is that? People who serve know exactly what that is. It's a beast, an aluminum beast. We don't know, but we can hit the F6 key, and that will pop up what we call the subunit inspector. So this now describes just that thing. Oh, it's a tracked armored personnel carrier. It's been in service from 1964. If we lose one, that costs us 29 victory points. It has carrying capacities, speeds, weapon systems. If it has any special sensors, which this one would not, but the tanks will have laser-guided rangefinders. This one just talks about optical. Now, again, you don't need to get down into the weeds when you're first playing the game. But if you're looking at that black blob and saying, tank?
What is it?
Infantry? What is this? Hit F6.
But a lot of people like having access to this information. I think, particularly people who like war games. Like to have this degree of information is really, really quite cool. So that looks fantastic. What you've got there.
We've had a lot of people freely contribute their ideas over the years, customers and contributors and everybody. With the Red Storm game prior to Southern Storm, we had 14 iterations of it because so many people came forward and said, yeah, I served in that unit. Do this. And we called it the Player's Edition by the end of it because, it was the player's ideas more than ours, I felt at that point. But yes, this was one of our innovations that inspired. It was sort of a debugging tool originally, and then the guys got used to it and said,
Yeah.
oh, Rob, do much better. 23 in the game, I'm following it.
Yeah.
And if you click
And there's a
on
VP cost that you're talking about.
Yeah. Go back to the unit dashboard and click on headquarters. And that will just, oh, no, well, okay.
Sorry?
Same thing. I was going to say it just jumps around.
So
if you hit
double click
F6,
that? Yeah.
see what the
Or
headquarters is.
double click actually opened it up as well, yeah. And so I can do it this way, can't I? I can skip past
You can do it
using
that
those.
way,
Yeah.
and it's filtered for that unit or the entire side.
Yep.
Down the bottom right. So we have attack helicopters joining us after an hour and a half. Oh, okay. What? How do you describe an attack helicopter in this game? Well, you can check. This will tell you. So let's close this, and I want to show you just a couple other things before we start. Close that too. So we got there with the HQ button. If you go down to the next row, or it's a column of buttons on there. Yeah, just click. Click on Ops, please. Each one of these is named after a staff officer, basically. This is the operations one. The mission briefing. This is important to read. I know we skipped the first one, and we'll skip this one. I'll just tell you what it says. But we spent a lot of time trying to tell you what it is you're trying to do in this game. And if you just stay there for a moment, you'll see that there's that bluish goose egg. That's where the bulk of our forces are going to set up and try and stop the Poles from getting any further to the west.
Yep.
We have a reconnaissance element to the south of it, and then we have reinforcements coming in from the left, including a tank company, which will be very welcome indeed. And I'll show you how to find it, just where that comes.
Yep.
But yeah, the mission briefing is just automatically have to go there. And what I'll do is we'll close this, but we'll go and get that same goose egg and arrow thing. If you go up to the main menu, or the menu at the top there, DAS,
Yep.
go staff,
Yep.
and then pull that down, import mission graphics from briefing. There.
Aha! Wow.
Magic. I wasn't able to program that, but our map guy, Rob, it's easy. So yes, we
just
can
zoom
now
out on the map.
superimpose
Oops, hang on.
graphics. And in our documentation, we tell you how to make those, so you can make your own. And if we have, you want to create one especially for a battle plan or a variant of the scenario you're playing, or you just want to use a different set of graphics, you can make it and you can fill it in and you can throw it in over top, just like that.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Like this again,
so
the
customizable and mod friendly. Yes.
and even like just the, I mean, we've spoken before about the maps. I find the maps for this game, as I say, I don't think there's any other game, war game, that really does it. It's just as nice to look at. The thing, like even this one here, like it's when you look at this actual map, it's the information that's important leaps out at you. Yet the map still has got lots and lots of detail in it, like with just that more muted color. But can you change that as well, like the actual degree of what you're sort of seeing. Like if I just go back into staff, I guess, and I'll turn off. Do I turn that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, just uncheck that. Part of it is distorted a bit because we have the fog overlay right now.
Yep.
But all you can really change is the saturation.
Yep.
The original maps were almost cartoony bright.
Yeah.
We said, oh, we need to gray them down a bit. And you can make them almost entirely gray. It's under options, map saturation, something like that.
Map contrast options?
Yes, that's it. So we're in the middle of 5.
Yep.
Yeah, pick the top one, and even that will pop through there.
But yeah, so we have the early morning fog.
Yeah, still. The counters, we have about 6 different ways of drawing counters. So if you much prefer NATO style, you can do that. Right now we have silhouettes, and we have related sibling units get the same background color, or so the foreground color. But that makes it much easier to tell, oh, yeah, this is part of that company, this is part of this company over here. Here's a totally separate, independent over here. So you can really play around, and it remembers what your favorite settings are from time to time, so that you can just get on with it.
Yeah.
So we saw the overlay, we've got our mission, and what we need to do is set up our units, and click on that engineer again, or just anybody in that cluster, the green cluster there. Okay. So what we just had happen was the setup hexes, the allowed setup hexes, and you can just drag and drop to anywhere. So let's think for a minute, because this is non-trivial. The enemy is going to come from the upper right. They're trying to clear that road. The town of Soest up to on our left flank, they're going to avoid. They might go in it, but you cannot go fast through a city. They just want to get around to the south and then out as quickly as they can.
To get to these locations.
And right through off the map, hopefully. What we have, and I haven't talked about it yet, but they're little blue map marker icons along the hex edges and things along the right edge of our setup area. Those are minefields and obstacles and improved positions. And you can look it up later to see which is which. What we want to do is kind of occupy that whole right-hand edge of the setup area.
Yep.
The terrain past that out towards the poles is pretty flat and open. So that's an ideal place to try and engage them with our forces. We have 3 infantry platoons, and that's one of them.
Yep.
So just drag and drop it over to the front line somewhere. Just space them out. And even that engineer, I put in the engineer and just hold the line. We don't need any particular engineering talent right now.
Is that too far forward for the engineer?
Live dangerously. They're from Texas. The key guy, the absolutely key guy, is the one that looks like he's got an arm reaching up above. He's a 2S.
Yep.
Click on him. He is our anti-tank guided missile unit.
So do we?
A pair of M901s. Oh, so put him where the best field of fire is. And that might actually be in the very top corner where you already have an infantry unit. I'll put him there, and then I'll show you a trick.
So just leave him back down here at this stage?
No, no, no. Actually, no, put him up with the topmost infantry unit.
Oops.
I can't read it, but stack him up with...
Where'd he go? There he is.
Try again, yeah.
There we are.
Just... Okay. So I said, oh, there's flat terrain. This has like a long range. Their tow missiles or anti-tank, just absolutely wicked against tanks. So what can you see? How can he use them? With him selected, do a Control L, and that calls up his loss, his line of sight. Ooh, yes. Now this is a little complicated, but let me walk you through it. All of the hexes that are very lightly tinted green and have a number in them are ones that he can see and shoot into. The range rings are for spotting, and the closer they get, basically, the more completely they're spotted. That matters less than this battle. But the outer one is kind of, oh, there's a cloud of dust, and I think I see some vehicles in the distance.
Yep.
But I don't really know. When you get closer, you can identify them. Say, those are tanks. And when you get really close, you can say, those are T-80s.
Right, yeah.
And kind of then what engages what hinges on that. If you see them, just the outer ring, you can call artillery on them. You may not hit them, but you can call it. To get a deadly wicked, tow missile on target or a tank main round on target, you really have to have them closer and properly identified so you can see them.
What are the numbers? Like 73, 42, 28? Is that like an obscuring type number?
It is. It's the amount of visibility into that hex, and higher is better. There's still ground clutter. There's still unevenness in the terrain. It's not like a billiard table. And so as you're there looking through into the distance, all the trees and buildings and random things cut down your field of view. And so if you see 73, okay, you can see 73% of that hex content.
Right, okay.
It's 42, you can see 42%. So that reduces the number of targets that you can engage at any given instant. If there's 10 tanks and you can see with a factor, say, of 20, okay, you can engage 2. So they cannot take more than 2 losses, even though there are 10 of them just sitting there.
Yep.
It's part of the game mechanics. You want higher numbers, and you want to be able to see into things, because even if it's a really low number like 12 or 14 on the edge, they still light up. They still become visible to you.
Yes.
And then, okay, I know they're there, whereas before I didn't. So yeah, you can leave them there, dragging around just the way you're doing. You find a good home for them. That looks like an excellent spot right there. Let's go with that.
So
that kind of covers the whole front. The infantry honestly aren't going to do much. Well, we'll see what they do.
With the infantry, they've only got like a so they're. How does their line of sight work here? Or what's this little green border around the units?
That is the limit of their visible sighting range, given that it's highly foggy. And if you look over in the weather report on the right-hand side, it says visibility is 500 meters. Yeah, that's 1 hex.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That radius you're asking about, that's 1 hex. If it clears, if and when it clears, they'll see a lot further. Or if they have special equipment like thermal imaging, they'll be able to see through the fog. But it's a little dicey. But good point. Tactically, we're going to be fighting at close range. The poles are coming out of the fog at us. We won't see them till the last minute. And so, yes, we want to be right up front and hit them with what we can get at right away.
So when we have a look at these actual squad units, their sensors, these ones do have night vision, but do we, how is...
do have some of that. Yeah, okay.
How is how is this one able to see so much further than this one here? Like, if that's the...
Could simply be... It's just got better sensors.
So it does come down to...
Or just much better kit. And they had that mast.
Oh, yeah. No, there we go. It was... The other one was down to 500. It was actually... It was in those... so it is just it's the optical sights and things like that are actually that are showing up.
The bottom one in particular gives them like 30 seconds detail.
Oh, right, yes.
And that can
Yep.
see through fog, not perfectly, but better than nothing at all.
Yeah. So if we go back to the infantry and have a look at them again, subunits, infantry, double click, sensors, then we're seeing 500. We're seeing smaller ranges. They do have thermal imager there.
Thermal.
But it's sort of funny because...
It could also be the exact spot they're sitting in, because we look at the terrain very carefully, and if they're not in the same hex, they may not have the same...
Yeah, so as I go to each of these, yeah, they're all sort of they're changing a little bit each time, aren't they, really? The engineers can see a little bit further.
Here's a pro tip for the keener gamers out there. With the engineer selected, if you want to go, well, if I was in the next hex over, how would I do it? You can move them within the setup area, but not outside of it. And you go, maybe I should give movement orders to go to a better spot. What could I see from like 2 hexes up to the right? Do a left shift click.
Aha! Okay.
Well, that answers the question, what could I see if that unit was here instead?
Right.
And you will use that a lot. I've shown you all the really important things. Find out what your mission is, see what the graphic overlay looks like, positioning your units to take best advantage of map obstacles like entrenchments, and the lay of the land through line of sight tools, and so you can set up a defense. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that may be pretty good right there. I would just move their headquarters up just a bit closer to them, like right in the center of the blue area is fine. And that last unit, I think, is anti-aircraft, air defense.
Anti-aircraft, yeah.
Yeah, so just park them anywhere, somewhere near the HQ maybe, but not in with the HQ.
We've got a hill that runs through there. Does the hill, like, what role does the hills play? Do they sort of help with other things?
It's an elevation model, and we have elevation bands, and it's a bit like a wedding cake effect. You sort of have these tiers. It's not perfect fidelity, but it does block line of sight. So if you have a ridge between 2 units, they cannot see each other because there's a higher elevation.
Like down here, for example. Like on this side, you won't see across to this side, yeah. Or even just this little one.
Militarily significant. It's not a perfect topographical map.
Yep.
But yeah, military significant ridges and elevation differences, which we get digitally and just build in.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a relatively flat map because we're fairly far north of the inter-German border. The Southern Star maps had very broken terrain, and there were a lot of exploitable terrain opportunities, shall we say. But yes, okay, so we've got that in position, that one. Down below, there's a recon element. Just click on one of those guys. We're just trying to fill a space within that purpley blue area, so just plunk them down.
So these are scout units, aren't they?
Scout, but you have a tow unit too. The second one in the column, that's another M1. So he gets his pick of the spots. You want to get the best. And
we can just, again, actually, using your trick of shift left click, we can then actually at least have a bit of a very quick look around at what we can actually then go and see.
Ooh, so that's a nice one. Oh, yeah, I like that.
So this one, yeah. So that one there, we can see all the way out to there. But these ones, at least they're. Oops, hang on.
What's it say? Oh, select the unit. Yeah.
Let's just move it off again. So we're ending up with better numbers from that point there across this road.
It's kind of more where we're expecting the poles to come from too. So yeah, that might be a good starting spot.
So throw that one up into that position. Yeah. So and this is what you're talking about with the ridge. We're not seeing down below the ridge in this case because we're further back.
Dead ground. Yeah.
If I was there, I see down.
Hill and it's below the brow of the hill. And
wow, look at that place there. Like if you move up one into that one there, you get all of that. So would that be what we'd then consider doing when we get started?
Yeah. Yep. So just leave them there. Move the other guys just kind of up to the forward edge and sort of covering things nicely. They have no real combat value. We don't really want them to fight. We just want to know if the enemy is coming. Bear in mind, we've turned on all the visible enemy units, but in the normal game, they would not be there until you see them.
Well,
so we have to spread out and have a recon fight and a recon plan and all that kind of thing to anticipate where they might come from.
With this first scout unit down the bottom here, I mean, in my head, I would be thinking, okay, let's go and check that bridge. But is this bridge broken at the back? Or is that just...
No, that's still good. It's just the way it's drawn.
Right, okay. Yep.
There'd be a big red X if it was blown.
Yep, okay. And so in that case, you'd be like, I mean, I guess you could be in either one of these positions and still be fairly effective in just making sure that they don't come in behind you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he doesn't see anything at all, does he?
No.
Actually pretty bad. Move him north once, see what he sees. That sucks too.
Yeah, they don't see much.
What we might do then is move him.
Keep him on that ridge or something.
Just leave him for there. It's not optimal play, but
yep.
I don't want to talk forever either. The other thing to do, we want to find where your artillery support is, and you don't really have a lot. I think there's a mortar. Just click on
headquarters there. Headquarters there. There's a mortar.
There's the mortar. So if you could just hit F4 and we'll just look at him for a minute. Those are, go into sub. Right now he's on screen. That's not very helpful. Those are all, click on, not the first, but click one of the other subunits, please, just to.
Oh, they're all this. Okay, we've got the M106. There we go.
M106. So that's a medium mortar in an M113. And that's it for artillery support. What I want to do, I want to show you the range rings. Close all this now. And there's a button, a speed. Oh, okay. Well, that's it right there. You can see how far it can shoot. That outer line.
So that was Control L, wasn't it? Oh no, that's different again. What was the? How did we get those range units showing up? Because so Control L to turn off. Oh, it's just on by default. Okay. So when you click these guys, right? Okay.
It will show, and there's a minimum range, but there's a maximum range.
Yep.
And so not everybody can shoot everywhere. It depends on the caliber of the weapon. But yes, and there's just one adjustment I want to make. If you could write, or if you just F4 it again. I just want to check something.
Or I can double click and get to the same screen. So that might be easier for new players just to double click on things because that's really quite handy.
Can you click on the staff tab, please?
Yep.
Okay, it is. There's in yellow text, just for added emphasis, under FSCC control. The FSCC is a staff-operated body. It's the Fire Support Control Center. So while you, the commander, are dashing about and maneuvering your forces, the people in charge of the artillery, including this, but also aircraft and fire assets, artillery assets, will automatically collect sightings and fire support requests and act on them.
Right, okay.
So we've just sort of pushed over to the staff. Okay, you run this mortar unit, please. And if something comes within range, go ahead and blast it. There's a lot more we can do, but we don't have all day. But yes, I just wanted to establish that it was under FSCC control.
Now, one thing you did mention before was that you said that the screen was not an order that you'd be comfortable with. So what do we do there? Do we just change the...
Right. Well, there are a couple of ways. Not that. The best way to do it is just drag this off to the side, please, so we can see the unit again. Right-click on the mortar unit, and that will pop up a unit context-sensitive thing. These are the allowed orders and operations and actions that you could do. What you want is on call, because if it's on call, then the FSCC can grab it and say, you've got a fire mission. You're going to fire a barrage. If you want to do a manual one, that's the same menu. If you pull it down again and look for barrage, there. Oh, wow. You get a choice. Suppression, neutralizing, or whatever, smoke maybe. And We won't do one of these yet, but yes, what you would do is say I want to do a barrage. You click on 3 places or up to 6, 1 to 6 places on the map where you want the barrage to land. And then you can fiddle with it and say, how many shells, how over what period of time do you want the shells to land? Typically, the more shells in the shortest time is the most damaging. But we model artillery, so it has suppression effects as well. And you might just want to plink just a couple of rounds every couple of minutes on somebody, just to make them keep their heads down and not open fire, and take a little readiness loss, a little morale loss, because they're not in pain, but
So when I changed it from screen, sorry, there was a little S in the corner, which I'm guessing that's screen back in through there, and then on call is the O that we sort of see through there. What's the T and the H?
T is for tracked. So it's the mobility class as opposed to wheeled or leg or static or helicopter or jet.
Yeah, so that's leg, tracked, leg, tracked. Yep, okay, I'm with you, yep.
Yeah. The H is headquarters. And it's in this case, the headquarters platoon has all the mortars directly attached.
Yep.
As opposed to farmed out into other units. So because it has an HQ vehicle in it, okay, it's a headquarters, fine. The green dot in the center, just below the unit name, is kind of a summary of the green dots you see on the right edge of the dashboard. Your morale, readiness. Has it got ammo?
Oh, okay.
And it shows the least of those 4. So if you're almost out of ammo and the ammo indicator is turned red, that dot will turn red.
Right.
And so you can glance at the map and say, who has problems? And red dot, red dot, red dot. And you come to the dashboard, you go to the staff page, and it will say, yeah, you're all but out of ammo. On this, so you just drill down. And it's 3 or 4 steps max. And you can just survey the broad thing and then go to what you need.
One thing I'm actually find really interesting about this is that so often when you play a war game, the numbers that you see in the bottom here are like they'll be your hit points and attack values and things like that. But you don't need to do it with the way that you've done this, do you? Because once you get a feel for, because you're not dealing, I guess, in divisional size units, you really are dealing with very, very specific units. You'll very quickly get an intuitive feel for what a scout unit can do as opposed to an infantry unit. And so the attack strength, it just comes down to the numbers, doesn't it? The 7 units inside that group, you'll have an instinctive feel, I guess, for it very, very quickly. Is that what you found with the game?
Yes, yeah. I'm actually glad you asked that or brought that up, because originally, 23 years ago, I said, that might be a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10, all things considered. And Warsaw Pact especially, but everybody at this point pushed a whole variety of weapons down to the very lowest units. So they'd have machine guns, but they'd have anti-tank, and they would have air defense. And they might have sort of squad machine guns, but also potentially a light mortar or something like that with them. So all these dissimilar weapon systems. And they would have different sensors. And so how do you model that?
Yeah.
The only way was to represent them individually. So you can click on a unit, and if it's a 4-tank platoon, you'll see all 4 tanks. Each of the tanks has a chassis. It's an M1 chassis, say. But each one has a primary and secondary weapon systems. And they, in turn, have sensors. And they now have their own ammunition loads. So that we say, I guess artillery would be a better example, but they have smoke rounds, they have illumination rounds, they have lots of high explosive, because that's the basic one. But they also have DPICM, improved conventional or dual purpose improved conventional munitions, which was a really big thing back in 1989. It was top attack artillery, and they would home in with sort of laser beams.
Okay, yeah.
Light up the enemy tank, and they fire an artillery shell, and instead of a direct cannon or direct anti-tank guided missile, it would come down from the top and hopefully split into a bundle of sub-munitions, and one of them would hit the top of the tank and get it. So, yeah, we don't just say, this is a 2 and this is a 3. We say, no, here are the actual vehicles. Here's the weapons they had. And there are lots of variations of that. And then here are the sensors. Here's the ammo. Oh, okay, now. And then when they shoot at each other, they work out between them. Okay, well, what's the most valuable target I can shoot at, or which is the most threatening target, or which is the most vulnerable target, and how, if we have 4 tanks all shooting at 10 others, how do we distribute fire? All that stuff is there, but it's just taken care of automatically. And people can quibble and say, "Oh, I don't agree." But surprisingly, a lot of the professional users that we have don't quibble.
Yeah.
Say, yeah, that's plausible. Okay.
What I got to say, what I really really like about this is the just how digestible the actual scale is. Like as you said before, at the very very start, you said it was more platoon level more than anything else. And I've seen other war games model combined arms with inside, but they're talking about corps or divisions or army groups and things like that, where they've got like hundreds and hundreds of individual units inside a single hex. Inside a single tile or like unit, which means that everything is abstracted. Whereas what you've been able to do, it still has the same numbers, but there's an abstraction between what the player is seeing and playing and how the game has to then make up the numbers. Whereas the beauty of this system is that I think you become more attached to the fact that you've actually got individual units you can see, so you don't need those abstracted numbers because you're seeing the numbers of. You can very easily see what the units comprises of. It's actually, I'm like just having sort of just really scratching the surface for myself. I'm almost getting chills actually looking at the at this aspect of it, because it's something that for me actually it bridges that gap of abstraction and not needing the abstraction. I really like the scale and scope of this enormously. I've got to say. The platoon level is just so much more digestible. Just from a.
I agree. You've understood it. You get it. Like that's what we were aiming for all these years.
It's funny because when people first look at these little numbers like 14S, the initial immediate response is to think that's its attack strength, not that's its unit strength. Yeah. But the unit strength, because we're playing platoon level. And we can so easily just go into the subunits and see what those 14 are, and then you get a feel for this. You become much more attached to the individual units, which I think is awesome. This is really, really, really awesome.
It has some implications because say you have like that engineer, you had a wide variety of different subunits in that. As they get killed, the qualities of the overall unit change.
Yeah,
if you kill all of the air defense units, it has no air defense. It's totally fine every other way. Or if the air defense runs out of ammo, oops, no air defense. So it's granular. Something I should point out, and hopefully this is a good time, but the documentation here is really extensive. And something brand new with Cold War is we put it online and then used Python scripts, like some black magic that I didn't do, to generate new documents that explain in detail all of this data, and all of this thing you've just been looking at is all online as well. If you go under help guides, I think is the best way.
Well, I've actually loaded all these in. You have a few online game manuals and things like this, and in PDF format as well. What I've done is I've actually before we started recording, I actually loaded them in. I've just wanted to show this as well because you're right, like this really impressed me as well. I've got to say, I'll just go across to this is I've just loaded in just the various field manuals that you've actually then got for the game. As like just to sort of show people the degree of depth that you actually have. This is number one. It sort of goes through. They've each got a different theme. Like this is the game operations, battlefield primer, tutorial basic. It's incredibly well done. Like just the actual degree of depth. I'll just go back to number one. Is this what you wanted me to sort of have a look at, or something even different again?
Yeah, let's spend a little time here, because this is the game manual that teaches you the user interface and how to get going. Everything else is, like you said, like a focal point. But we spent an immense amount of time. Jim Snyder, who always goes to Origins with me, did an amazing job. In his day job, he did a lot of this kind of stuff. So he knows how to explain things. And we have a grand total, I think, with this release of 750 pages of documentation.
Wow, that's a lot.
The tutorials alone are 190 pages.
Wow.
And Matrix looked at me and said, 190 pages, Rob, you got to be kidding. I said, no, that's what we need to do. That's what it takes. And it's very readable. It's full of screenshots. So
yeah,
let
me get into the actual nitty gritty of it so people can see. Like what this, it's again, I was taken back by it because it's this is 21 pages in, so we're only a small portion of the way into it. But it's just nicely laid out, and it's sort of it's really, really cool. And I think actually having PDFs like this, I mean, you can then just do a search for keywords if you're needing to, like if we want to do, I haven't done this, but if I do subunits.
I hired a person just to make these manuals more beautiful.
There we go.
All the screenshots we completely redid. All the text we had to bring up to date. We're still working on them, but yes.
And you can just go through the...
There's depth to the game, but if you go here and look at it, it will all be explained. And
there's really, really good information. Like it's just a... it's one of those things actually, again, of... another of the Matrix games is Shadow Empire, and I know that Vic, the developer there, actually ends up using the manual creation as his way of keeping track of what he's done. So he builds the manual as he does his development. What's the process that you guys use? Do you I guess he's a single developer, so he's had a different process. So how do you guys keep track of so much data?
There is no good process. I wish there was a magic wand I could wave. The developers write stuff, especially me. I think by writing things down.
Yep.
The others not so much, but I stimulate them to document. And there's a developer version which then goes to our documentation SAR. He's in charge of all things documentation. That's Jim Snyder, and he then rewords it and turns it into this. But keeping it up to date, he's in on every weekly meeting that we have, ideally, if real life doesn't interrupt. And he's going through, okay, yeah, we just added illumination rounds, or we just added hunt orders for attack helicopters. I now need to document that. And so he'll run a list. And at basically the very last minute before we ship, he'll get the very latest screenshots, and he'll put in the text for all the new features since the last one.
So when you do an update, then are you updating all the manuals and things as you go with that as well? Like it's actually, I mean, so many games.
We're trying to.
Yeah, I mean, so many games actually don't do that. Yeah, sorry, you go ahead.
The really cool part, see, we now have all these PDFs, and you can't search them as a group. You can only search within one. And so we're going, okay, well that's nice, but how many people in this day and age, how many 20-year-olds?
Yeah,
which are wonderful people. I know 20-year-olds read anything. So go back to the game, and I'll show you the new generation of documentation. If you go under Help and view online game manuals, please.
In HTML?
Yes. And so we took all those PDFs. We took the original Word doc files, converted them to Markdown files, and then converted the Markdown into a website. So everything we just saw there in Manual 1 is right there under, yes, RTFM. If you go there, go ahead and click through, yes, you will, everything that was in that is just automatically brought over. The layout obviously is slightly different because it's HTML.
Yep, but and you can just search globally, can you? Like if I do this...
all yes. The best part of it all is you can now search the entire database all at once.
Wow.
So if you type in air defense or engineers or something, you will get every single reference and every single thing. And away you go. It's discoverable. You can find things again. Now, the coolest thing, and that's what got me going here, is if you go to operational guides, it's sort of in the red menu bar up top.
Yep.
This is not in any of the PDFs. This is stuff that Andrew Spearin, who is full-time member, created once he got those markdown files and he had accessed all the data files. If you click on chronology, say the first one, we didn't have to document it. He was able to scrape the starting times of all of the scenarios and put them in order and show you who's playing. If you click on the name of a scenario, it then shows you the mission blurb and all the other stuff.
So where's ours?
Right.
Let's open up the one that we've got open.
Yeah.
Where would that be? That's
right at the end, probably. It was in September.
Oh, right. So it's in the same order.
I don't. It should have been September 25. Oh well.
Not seeing it there.
It's okay. It absolutely should be there. But
it probably is. I just probably missed it, I would guess.
One of the reasons that we like this is that we can update it.
Yep.
Oh, it did say SOWEST at the bottom? Yeah, it does. Oh, that's Battle of Nations at SOWEST. Yeah.
A different one? Let's just click on it anyway. Yeah, so you get all the detail.
So you get the detail. If you go back up again, just return a couple times, we can ultimately get into basically the subunit inspector. If you go into forces in the bottom there, you can see all the maps, you can see all the subunit campaigns, but go into forces. Click on, say United Kingdom or something. And this is all kinds of TO&E information. And as you click on stuff and expand it, you see all the details.
Wow.
And it's a tremendous lookup tool. And we hope will prove to be very valuable.
Yeah, and this is just, even if you're not playing the game, it's great, isn't it?
It's a ton of information that are buried in Excel spreadsheets that ship with the game, and you can browse them in Excel, but this is so much more accessible.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
You click on an icon. I think they in turn link off.
Yeah, they've like a Land Rover goes to the Land Rover, gives you the information about the Land Rover. This is really, really interesting. It's
so you can browse all this stuff, and this matters because it's modern or semi-modern equipment. You know, everybody knows what a Sherman tank from World War II is. Everybody can visualize a Tiger or a T-34. If you throw an M901 at them, okay, what is it? Or M109A1, which is one's artillery, one's anti-tank. They don't know. So you need to be able to look it up at a key press and jump through it all. And so this is a tool that helps makes it really just discoverable, and it satisfies your itch for detail.
So as you go through, now, this is really awesome. And you got your challenger, your chieftains.
We can update this as often as we like.
Yeah.
There's a broken thing. Okay, well, tomorrow it will be unbroken.
And so you mentioned Jim actually does, is he the czar of looking after this information? Is that how that sort of works within your organization?
Jim's data czar. So the spreadsheets and the research and how we quantify real world performance values into game terms.
Yeah.
The documentation, this was all done by Andrew on our team. And he's our producer, so he does a variety of things. But he said, I'm looking at the PDFs. I think I can make these online. I've heard of people doing that. And a week later, we're looking at it going, holy smokes.
Yeah.
And he says, I think I can do these tanks and forces, and I can do all this other stuff that's not even in the manuals. And a week after that, he had it.
Wow. This is awesome.
And so we divide things up. We just turn people loose. And in that case, Andrew had a very creative idea. I didn't think he could do it, honestly, but fill your boots.
What a resource! What an incredible resource of the Cold War era. Like even just even outside of the game, it's just such an awesome resource. It's unbelievable. Like it's really, really well done. This is incredible. I guess we should get back to the game though and just keep on talking a little bit more.
Actually started it.
No, we're over an hour. I knew we'd go over.
So we're set up. We'd said, let's set up the units. And we didn't really do a very scientific job of it, but hey, it's close enough. Let's hit the start button and let's see how things...
Before we start, is this like, you mentioned about there'd already been like nuclear attacks. Is this sort of like the fallout that we sort of see through here? Right, okay.
Yeah. So that was described in the mission briefing, but it
Yep.
basically makes that a no-go zone
Yep.
for both sides. So we're
And what-
using the map, but just concentrating on the bottom half.
And what do we have with the 7
that?
dots? The seven circles?
It's an empty minefield.
Right,
If it
okay.
filled
Yep.
in, it would be an active minefield, but the nuclear explosion detonated all the mines.
Right, okay.
It
Yep.
blew down all the bridges. It cleared all of the other map markers. Any smoke that was there got blown away. But so those are empty. There's still a residual chance of you hitting something if you go through one, but
Right, okay.
it doesn't deter anybody. Yeah, so
And so all of these little things can be moved anywhere you like on the screen as well then, like all of the little...
you can go to a second monitor. You can change the order, the size. You can close them. You can hide them completely if you want to. Hit F5 and then F5 again to bring them back. It's we try to make the UI very flexible so that people can play the game their way.
Again, that's unusual. That's very unusual for a war game. To actually have a user interface that's functional and actually helpful.
It was a crazy amount of work for me, but they assured me it would pay off. And yes, you just said it. It's paid off.
No, it's again, it's so refreshing to see that because I think that there's I think that with war games, I think developers end up getting into a bit of a trap where they get so comfortable with what they're doing themselves that they lose track of this. That people coming new into the game have to then struggle through the user experience, probably more so than the user interface. The user experience is it looks like with the team that you've got, the user experience is very, very high in the priority of actually the way that the games are presented. It sort of, I mean, it shines of all of that. Just all the decisions that are made. It's very, very succinct. I love it, actually. I love what I'm seeing.
Well, thank you. That was by design. We wanted the easiest, simplest, most accessible starting point, so it's easy to learn.
Yeah,
But hard to master. Oh, okay. Now you got to drill. There are like 24 reports we haven't mentioned. And they have value. There are times you really need the reinforcements list, or you need the ammo expenditure list, or.
I mean, it's not a dumbed down game by any stretch, is it? It's just well presented. Like the degree of information, there's a mountain of it, but it's instead of it being hard to access the information, it looks like you mentioned about the reports. Do we need to look at those before we
No, let's not deter anybody by going. But they're beautiful. Basically he's an accountant. And he saw them at a trade show and went, wow, of all the things I like about the game, I like your reports the best. HTML, they've got graphics. Oh, thank you, Watt. That was awfully nice. You're the first person ever to say the reports.
But they are important. They are important. It's sort of like there's a lot of games, again, where for example, ledgers aren't really... people they get glossed over, but it's the best way of getting succinct information. Like it's I think all of these things actually, when you combine all those things together, they're so important for a game of any sort of complexity. So, no, it's awesome. Should I click the start button at this stage?
Let's start. Absolutely, let's go.
14 minutes of game resolution is about to commence. I love that.
Yeah, so you cannot micromanage your units. You are the commander. You're the boss. You're not telling all these lieutenants, face this way, do this, do that. Here's your target. Don't shoot. You lay out the plan. You position them, and they then make decisions at the low level. So what we're seeing, so there's a big column of armor. Or no, those are the motorized infantry, the push, and they're not coming at our strong point. They're coming at our weak flank. Oh, wonderful.
So this is another one of those plans that you mentioned earlier, the three different attack plans. This is like plan 3 or something. So we now have to scramble to meet that threat.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we had a thought. I thought they would come much further north, but they're not. So what? Clear that to screen. Let's go over to our anti-tank unit, the 901, and just do a Control L again to see what its line of sight might look like.
This is with
he's not seeing deep into their formation, but that would be too good to be true. He's got a combat range of 6,000 or 3,000 meters rather. That's 6
Yeah.
hexes, so that's pretty
And
reasonable.
we don't really have any better
think-
spot. Oops, hang on.
We can't magic move him anymore. We could give him movement orders if we thought there was a much better spot. But in fact, no, let's just leave him there.
Yeah.
If they go too far south, they'll not come into his
So
area of interest. It's a fire area. He may not be able to fire them. He's too north, but let's wait and see.
so if they go off the ridge and go onto this side of the ridge, he's not going to be able to fire on them at all, is he?
That's correct.
So we've got the other one at the top. Do we then bring this one down to lend support to the southern area?
Good. We know from our briefing that there's this battalion that we've already seen, and then there's a tank battalion somewhere else. So do you see any tanks there? I don't. I think that's all. It said it was a reinforced. The other guys will be reinforcements who will come in onto the map a little later on.
Oh, okay. Yep.
All I'm thinking, this is now the dilemma of command.
Yeah.
You've got half the information you need. What do you do, Commander? I would say just leave it as is.
And just
let's click and go another turn and see the situation mature a bit.
That was I heard a gun.
Oh, we just got some. There's a decent artillery unit just showed up.
Oh, okay.
Although we see the enemy, we can't.
Here they
since
come.
we haven't spotted them, we can't actually barrage them.
I just saw the tanks arrive. And they're coming in the middle.
Okay, yeah.
Is that? Oh, hang on. I've got that selected. Sorry, that was me. I thought it was the game was moving around. So we've got the tanks are now coming in here.
Are those tanks or is that? Oh, those are. No, that's artillery. That's self-propelled artillery. Hit the F6 for them, and even though they're enemy, we should be able to see.
Oh, okay. Actually, because the double click doesn't work on that. I can't double click on those.
Because it's enemy. Yeah, you have to do slightly more work.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's their artillery park. Again, we don't see it; they're not spotted, but at least we know where they are.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
And then these ones.
Go another. They're all still moving. If
just wait and see what happens, and we're seeing the.
Look at that! Yes, that's good. Again, because the fog of war is turned off, we would never see that.
Yeah. Yep. That's really cool.
Enemy for myself for quite a while. Oh well, let's cheat. Let's take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Remember, a mortar unit.
Yep.
Let's give him a barrage order just to illustrate how this works. So right-click on him, select barrage, select neutralizing fire there, and let's click on the hexes that those units look like they're going to go.
Yeah, they're going to be coming along this road here. So just in here somewhere?
May not hit them. It's really hard. Well, by the time it arrives, the unit has to have moved into that hex. So I'd actually go just one hex left of where the lead unit is.
So even just in here?
Yeah, click
hang
there.
on, that's outside the max range.
Oh, it's at okay. Okay, well, let's prepare a reception right at that crossroads right there. Just click there. That will now drop, several mortar rounds.
Should I click a second time to make it so we get more of it? Is that how it works?
No,
yeah?
That's all you need for that. Well, you can, but okay. Let me show you a bit more. So what you do is commit this order in that there, and then it brings up an editor. And we've seen this screen before. This is orders, but now it's got these barrage orders.
Right. Okay.
And remember, I said you can pick the number of rounds and how much time. Well, 30 rounds over a 5-minute duration is what it's said, and it's going to do it as soon as possible. So that means at 7:33, it's going to start firing. So that's 5 minutes from now.
Yep.
That's reasonable. That, in fact, may be when those guys actually get into that hex.
Yep.
So let's try and see. This is how you learn.
Should we change the duration up?
Oh, that will. Yeah. Okay. Make it 10 minutes, please, and do like 45 rounds or something like that. Just so there's, and then it will do it in bursts. It will every couple of minutes it will fire more until it's done 45 over 10 minutes. With 6 tubes or 8 tubes or whatever it's got.
And
notice that the order stack on the left. We could set a delay.
Yeah, should we put it?
No, just do it as soon as possible, please.
Yep.
But if you are coordinating an attack and you want to put artillery barrages on the defenders just before your guys close with them, that's where you start playing around with time.
Right. Okay. God, the detail is awesome.
As your guys arrive.
It's funny because there's a lot going on, but it's just so accessible. Like, again, the user interface is just really, really nice.
Yeah. You don't have to mess with any of that. You can just leave the defaults and the presets. Yeah, click apply, please. Because we made a change, and you might change your mind and say, yeah, no. But we did. So that's a barrage. And so as a game player, you're maneuvering units, although we haven't actually maneuvered any yet, but we will shortly. And you do fires. And so that's an example of doing a fire. It drew in that orange line so we can visualize it. You have a lot of artillery. Which hex did I hit again with that other one? This just shows you. So
shall I start again?
Let's do something. See with the number 2, that target reference point number 2, you can drag that. You haven't actually committed anything. So if you say, yeah, let's move it over there, bingo, we know.
Right. Okay.
So you can adjust fire over time. You can say, I'm going to do this in the future. And if it's not actually fired, then you can still, once it starts, of course, you can't.
Yeah.
And if we had it under observation, so if we had a forward observation officer or like a FIST or any of these trained people that can adjust artillery fire, if they're seeing that hex and say, yeah, no, the enemy's in the one beside, well, they can call the artillery unit. The artillery unit will move their fire back onto where they're trying to get it.
So this one does have...
We don't have that here.
No, okay. Yep.
Sadly. They have some talents, but I don't think they can see far enough.
So the H is the headquarters. So even though that's a headquarter unit, it doesn't actually have the fire support. Whereas this one here would have?
Yeah. In this scenario, it depends on the author's scenario, how much detail they wanted to go into.
Yep.
And I think he's trying to model quite a different thing here.
Okay.
This is a really desperate defense.
Yep.
And do you even stand or do you just run away immediately? But these guys are from Texas, so there's no chance. And it's the Alamo name in the scenario.
Right. Okay.
Again.
Start again.
We'll see. Yep. Because what I want to do is get them into contact.
Whoa, we're being targeted.
Oh, yes. That was an artillery barrage. That was speculative fire. We didn't have anybody there. He's just shooting at likely places. And this would be pursuant to a battle plan, I bet. We didn't look, but... he guessed right. So,
yeah, we lost one.
Yeah, we lost the guy. So the 4 decremented down to 3. And there was a little animation buried in all the others of a unit exploding. So that's how you keep... Oh, come on. So yeah, we picked too obvious a place. And they foresaw that we might do that. And letting us have it. That's fine. Let's see the rest unfold here.
Here comes another group in the north as well.
Yeah.
So this is now the first of their actual turns, isn't it? This is like the they're now into their
second.
Yeah,
they're starting the second, and it doesn't cheat. When the time of the first turn was up, it went back to the computer player and say, okay, what do I do now? And it would have looked and said, well, we haven't spotted anything, so just keep on with the plan. If at some point it has spotted things or the plan's falling apart, it will evaluate and say, yeah, let's try something different here. And it takes a little time. You can... we used all
we
the
missed.
default stuff.
They stopped moving.
You can speed the game up or slow it down with just the plus and minus key on the keyboard. It's another customization. We have things running quite slowly to start because you can run the game really fast.
Yeah.
But then you're really confused. And then this guy's jumping around and things are blowing up and you go, wait a minute.
I actually like playing these really slowly, these sort of things. So it's almost like it's a WeGo system rather than a turn-based system.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. So both sides put in their orders. And these are long order sprints, like half an hour for the Soviets when they're commanding, platoons and companies.
Mm.
Usually it's a 2 or 3 minute order in most war games. But we're not the lieutenant in charge of the unit, maneuver unit. We are the boss. And yeah, they think in half hour. They might be thinking an hour or two ahead already.
Yeah.
In real life staffs.
Mm.
And when you play the game, you can just kind of do it. This is definitely on the arcadey side because I didn't really, spend an hour positioning my units properly.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can play it that way. It's fun. I like animations of explosions even after all these years. It just show me something. I want some action. And then at some point I'll play, and then say, okay, yeah, my concept sucked. I need to reposition units. I need to counterattack. I need to do something. And that might be an hour or two into the game. And that's fine. That's how you play it. Other guys will spend like 3 hours planning. And
yeah. I know what you mean.
The full fog of war. And they will then also just go click, click, click until the enemy shows up. And they go, oh, I recognize that kind of Soviet armored car. That's a regimental recon, not a battalion recon. I know there's a whole tank regiment strung out behind it now for the next half hour. And they've got it. And so they set up their fire plan to give a warm welcome to these new arrivals, all that sort of stuff. And it's a different experience. But it's like a command experience. And that's what we really worked hard to just try and convey.
So just having a look at this, we've got M109s that have come in.
Yes.
So they're longer range. So do we just leave them there?
Well,
because we can actually now hit any of these.
We can. Let's blast them. I've already shown you how to do a barrage. They were on call, I noticed, so they'd be controlled by the staff, fire support center. But that doesn't stop us from commandeering them and giving them specific orders. And when they finish those orders, they'll then revert back to staff control and service other fire support requests.
Yep.
Because we have 15-minute turns, that's actually really good. And we're very happy to take manual control. If our turns were longer, we might be happy to let the staff do it because they can respond within a minute or two during the course of the turn and get fire on, rather than forcing us to wait to the end of the turn when we can then do manual again.
So in this case, we know that they're not going to move because it's in the middle of their 29 minutes and they didn't move. They've stopped there. So we actually...
You see the little triangles? There's little blue triangles in the left bottom corner.
Yep.
Those are movement indicators, so that they are still moving.
Okay.
They slowed way down.
In that case, I'll still keep that other one going into there then. If I go and grab this one here, I might move that one back up.
You can, and you can create more orders. You can just overwrite the one you just did. You can put 6 target reference points down.
Yeah.
Just make a wall.
Although this one doesn't have the range, so I'll go back to this one here.
Yeah, and the M109s. Those were the workhorse artillery. They were the staples. Barrage neutralizing.
So if I just sort of start to move along this road and just put them in like this, for example.
I love it. Yes. Yeah. And it will do them in turn. It's not simultaneously. They'll do one and then the next. But yes, you're putting fire down where they're going to move into with any luck.
Yep. And then we see the sequence. Yeah. Okay. That's really cool.
Timings, and you can play around, but don't touch anything. Just say fine.
So let's
just close it.
Let's see what happens. Let's actually move. Yeah. Because we haven't done that yet. So is it like instinctively I'd just be right clicking on where I want to go? But is it going to be what if I've got this anti-air? It's
not quite that simple. Right click to get the menu and go move hasty, I would say.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Right? Now you drop waypoints. You can drop just one, or you can plot a route, or just whatever.
So if I go along this...
Yep, just like that. And it will then give you a variety of pathing options. And again, you don't need to know this when you're playing your first game. But for those who've played a few, you can go stick to roads, or you can say use the most concealed route, or just go as directly as you can. So your terminal order, it's asked you up at the top, do you want to have screen or hold orders? And call it screen.
Okay.
If it was infantry digging in,
Look at that.
oh, so that's really ugly. But this is where you drag and drop the waypoints to clean it up again.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, that looks nice. If you right-click on a waypoint, just try that. Another pro move here. Right-click, you can delete it, or you can get into that. Yeah, use the roads, or don't use the roads. There are other settings, but
wow, there's so much detail, isn't there?
avoid contamination. If you were going through a nuclear zone, or there was a known nuclear zone, or a chemical contamination zone, you can say, yeah, don't even go in there.
Right.
Please don't. And take the longer route around.
Yep.
Or you might be a Soviet and go, yeah, no, I want to. I equip my forces to operate in NBC contaminated areas, and that's our secret advantage. Get there, like just get there, and 10% if you die, you won the battle anyway. So thank you for your service.
Should we click start again and just see how we go?
Yes. Let's. So we're seeing movement. We're seeing barrages. Again, we're playing without fog of war, so we saw the enemy coming. In the real game, we might not be able to see anybody just yet. It's still foggy.
So all of this would be unknown to us except for the barrage that they actually had a crack at us.
Yes.
And
That's it. Yeah.
And our unit has actually run off this ridge automatically. Looks like he's actually moved away from the barrage location, the one that we actually had lost.
There is, yeah. There, yeah. You can see a guy's been lost.
Does that mean it's actually?
It's repairable. That's like a little wrench, and so we have fallen out, which are repairable and just outright destroyed, where it's unsalvageable.
Yep.
In this game, it doesn't matter. When you're playing a campaign game, which is a series of linked scenarios, there's an excellent chance that some of your fallen out units, they just have a broken track. Fix it and they're back in business 20 minutes later. The fallen out units can return to your forces for the next scenario. And that's kind of a big part of that. So we distinguish between, utterly mission kills and,
Again, I know that people who play these sort of games love that, having the ability to be able to where the units matter from mission to mission in a campaign. That's really awesome, actually. Again, there's
force preservation is important. Yeah, we could emphasize it even more, and we're seriously considering it. Because you get gaming effects. And it's the last turn. Let's do this. Or you're at the edge of the map. It's the edge of the world. You can get away with stuff we couldn't otherwise.
Yeah.
We want them to think like real people and behave accordingly.
Yep. Okay. Well, look, I'll leave that one back there. In fact, I'll give that a move in order. Actually, I'll just go to move deliberate. So that would then just be something where it just slowly finds a safe way through.
Slowly, more tactically aware.
Yep.
It's called bounding overwatch in the U.S. Army, as opposed to traveling overwatch, which is move hasty. So it's slower, but it's much less risky a form of movement.
Yep.
And so we offer the choice. If you're deep in your rear area, move hasty. Just get there.
Yep.
If the enemy might intervene, you really want to be in move deliberate. And if you know you're attacking, you know where they are. They're in that town. You're going to take that town from them. Do an assault. Do yourself a favor. And the unit will be much more careful and incur far less silly losses.
Oh, let's start another. Let's end this round and see what actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
So we've still got more barrages coming back through. Here they come. They're now moving towards our target zones. Yeah. So you're right, they were just sitting back there for a limited time. There we go. Now hitting double units.
Oh, nice! Yes, that's a waker upper.
There we go. They're all bunched together. We didn't quite get to the almost.
Yeah, no, it was premature. But... another hit. I don't think we actually killed any with that particular barrage.
No.
These are not World War I style, these are just a few rounds per barrel. But the artillery is extremely effective in 1989 compared to World War II. So it will knock out armor.
Gee, they've avoided that crossroad.
Oh, they're shooting at us. Oh, not that guy.
Lost a unit.
Yeah, scout. I did not expect them to do that.
Oh, we've lost completely.
Yeah, they don't
down.
see us. They just, yeah. They're not very big. These are just, pairs of scout vehicles.
Yep.
They're there to watch, not fight. And hopefully they'll slow the enemy down. Like when there's unknown enemy forces opposite us, we better be a little more careful now.
So without the fog of war, we'd really need to be scouting ahead, trying to see what's happening. We wouldn't know which road they're coming through. We'd be probably assuming they're coming through the middle of the map rather than to the south. So, because we're playing without the fog of war, without the fog of war, we get to see everything essentially. Here comes the tanks, by the way, down the bottom there.
Oh. Yeah, there's a tank. Yes, the recon battle is huge in the minds of professionals, and you want to find out where the enemy is without giving away your locations. And whoever wins that, basically the battle is then theirs to lose.
Yep.
It's such an advantage. And it doesn't get talked about. It's not sexy. You don't see it in comic books and stuff. But the pros are going, no, give me recon assets. And we don't have them in this scenario. But if you get scout helicopters, they can really zip around.
You're right, yeah.
Incredibly fragile.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
If you use them correctly, you can get like a window into the enemy's rear area and see where everything is, at least briefly.
So this guy's still moving across, yeah. Well, look, we've spent up to an hour and 40 minutes now, so I think we better start to wind up. But I've got to say, I'm super impressed. I love the scale of the units. I think that really changes what the way that the information can be delivered. I'll just move back to the interview screen. There we are. But is there anything else we need to look at before we sort of close up the discussion?
We've hit the highlights except for a couple of the deeper game mechanics, and I don't even want to talk about them. We've covered a third of the game.
Yeah.
If you want to lose your mind, look up standard operating procedures in the manuals, because it's a whole other way to express your intent as a commander.
Right, yeah.
You don't do it just in time when the units are locked in combat. It's too late. You're the lieutenant colonel. You're not second lieutenant. But you can tell them ahead of time, I want you to engage at this range, and I want you to fall back if you're under too much pressure. And there's a list of about a dozen things that you can set them up. And you can say, all my tanks are going to have this modified SOP, and all my infantry this. And really kind of override the presets of the scenario as it comes. If it's your first game, don't even think about changing them.
Yeah.
But as you start to get more tactical finesse, that's something you'll start to look at and go, okay, well, in this game, what are the recon units? I want them to fall back. I don't want them sitting under artillery fire like that. Let's make it easy for them to move back. Yeah, and here we go. And so there's sort of national defaults for this, and then there are the unit defaults, and then each order can have its own SOP. So if you're moving, say you're going at move hasty, move deliberate, move, and then an assault at the end. Each one of those can have different SOP settings for engaging ranges and risk profile and things like that.
So it can get very, very detailed.
We have guys who love this.
Yeah.
We need more. Can you put twice as many in a row? No. But what we have will keep you busy for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things.
But again, you've got this. It's like an onion, isn't it? Where you've sort of got like the actual the portions sort of go from a granular way of playing the game out to increasingly more complex, or probably the other way around, like a big granular level, but then into detail and detail and detail with all sorts of different things. It's extremely impressive. I'm just for me, I think the thing that I've really sort of have like just the way that the individual, like the platoon aspect of the actual game itself, I just think that's brilliant. Like it really does. It's just the perfect scale.
You can see all the ammo for all the weapons. You can go in and mark certain items of the inventory as key ammo. So, those M901 TOWs, it's the anti-tank guided missiles. They're only 12. So if it runs out, we want it to rest and resupply right away. It may have a ton of, machine gun ammunition. We don't care. That's not gonna help the battle. So you say, well, no, the key one is the anti-tank guided missile, and so behave accordingly. It just goes on. That's what happens when you get a team of guys that love this stuff. And work on it for 20 years.
Yeah, it's where the passion shows through. But again, this game, I think the passion is one thing, because you sort of do find people that, like, as you say, 20 years, the passion has to be incredibly high. But to be so focused on the user experience and the user interface as well as the passion, that's actually rare for war games.
Thank you. We're hoping to inspire a new generation.
Well, I think this is for a game that's got such complexity, it really does actually exude like I guess a way of it feeling as though you can ease into it. Again, I guess it's that sort of more granular top level that you do have access to. It's as I say, I'm really impressed. It's one of these sort of games where I sort of haven't really played much of this sort of game, but it's a game that I really now think, oh, geez, I wish I had played, the Southern Storm when it came out, because I had that right from the start and I just didn't have time to play it. I've been choosing the wrong games.
The eternal wargamers lament.
Yeah, it is.
I have a wall of shame right there.
Okay. For me, what it is my first go-to when I've got to make decisions about what game I'm going to play is, does it have procedural maps? And if the answer is no, I just think, okay, I'll park that one and I'll go and play something else. And I can see with this game, you just cannot have procedural maps. But you get around that by having those battle plans. So you've still got replay value without the maps being the what the replay value is. It's which again is very, very clever. Like it's I absolutely love it. I love that aspect of it. It's brilliantly done. So well, Robert, look, I do want to thank you for your time. It's this has been a real eye opener. Actually, I'm glad that you offered to actually sort of just ease me through what the game does and sort of show me what what's important and how to sort of get into it. It's been fantastic. So thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. That was the most fun hour I've had in a month, I would say. So that was great.
No, it's super, super enjoyable. Anyway, guys, it's this of course is available. It's on Steam, and it's available through the Slytherin site. The Matrix, does Matrix still sell the games on their site, or does it just go through Slytherin now?
No, they do both.
Yep.
And there's a huge discount for both if you own Southern Storm.
Right.
A lot of the Southern Storm content rolled forward into this. Obviously, it's an iteration of Southern Storm, so we gave that to you for free. You get all the benefits and a whole new game as well in terms of content and campaigns.
Should we show that in that case? I wasn't aware of that actually. Just let me Steam, or should we just go to
Steam?
Yep.
Yeah, well, both. The exact same deal is offered through both.
Okay.
And all Southern Storm people. It's $50 regular price, and Southern Storm, you got it for $25.
22% off right now at time of recording. And so it's only just come out. This one's only just come out, but I'm not sure where we would see that with it actually.
What you need is buy the bundle. Whatever.
Flashpoint Campaigns cold.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'll just get out of that.
I lost my mind on Thursday, which was release day, and we had all this talk about the clarity of the UI of the Steam store.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot that goes on in the Steam store.
Take my word for it. We're very friendly price for Southern Storm.
Well, it's 40% off. That's 40% off right now as well. This is Australian dollars, so it's not. It's not
Okay,
US dollars.
The bundle there.
Yeah.
It's got both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw away Southern Storm and go for it. We've
Fantastic.
got Southern Storm. Anyway.
But no, that's fantastic. Again, thank you so much for your time, Robert. And yeah, that was a real eye opener actually for me. Just say, I know again, I love the scope and love the scale and the scope actually of the game. It's a game I've always when I used to play war games. I had some large war games that I used to enjoy, but typically it was sort of like squad level was what I tended to enjoy the most, and this sort of just hits that sweet spot. I think it's very, very well done. So again, thank you
so much.
All right, guys, so I'm going to leave it there. So we'll catch you next time. Over and out.